show. I'm David Carrier, your family's personal attorney, sharing with you some insights from over the last 40 years, 42 years now of being a lawyer. And, you learn new things, right? You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Bah, who believes that? I'm learning all kinds of new tricks now. For example, back in the day, I thought that, mishandling classified information, there was no willfulness intent. But then I find out that seriously, this is great stuff to know. If you ever become Secretary of State, right, you can have your very own personal a server, right? And you can keep all official documents on that server, thousands, tens of thousands of them. Yeah, and that'll be okay because if anyone asks you about it, and they say, hey, we can't find any evidence on this. Oh, by the way, we didn't send this thing out for testing because the FBI doesn't do that anymore. We're not going to try to find these stuff. But if they ask you, hey, did you wipe the hard drive? You can just say something like, oh, you mean with a rag? I mean, wipe it down? Yeah, I was in the bathroom, but yeah, wipe it down. And then everyone will think, oh, well, they didn't mean anything bad by it. And then they won't prosecute you. Yeah, that's how it works. If you don't have any bad intent, then they won't prosecute. And what I just found out was if you're a senator, like a senator in the United States Senate, right? And and somehow or other you got hold of classified information and like you never turned it back. Like as a senator, you're supposed to do that, I suppose. But now it's very optional, apparently. And then if as vice president, you also got classified information and you stored it in torn up boxes in your garage, well, but you have to store it next to a classic car. See, I understand that part. I love 1956 Chevrolets. So I guess if you put it in the trunk, it'd be even better. Be even better if you put it in the trunk. But if you just put it in the same garage as your classic car, right? Right. The fact that you took all kinds of, see, that was the other thing. I'm just learning so much. See, back in the day, they said that if we give you, this was before I branched into JAG, and well, is even as part of that, because they're talking about how we prosecute guys who violate the standards, and they're like, hey, if you have access to classified information, right, and you write notes, those notes are automatically top secret if you based it on top secret information, right? And even get this, even if you like thought about classified information before you wrote your notes, right? Because you had access to it, then whatever you put, if they were telling us don't write Dear Diary, because if you write Dear Diary and you had access to, well, your diary is now top secret. And if you don't maintain it, under all the security, well, then you're committing a security violation writing it down. But apparently, that doesn't count anymore. So here's the thing: if you're a government official, right, who has no authority to classify or declassify information, right, like a senator or vice president, right, but you had access to it, you can write down all kinds of shit like spies' identities and sources and methods, and put all this stuff in your personal private notebooks, and then tell the guy who's ghostwriting your story. So like if you're hiring a ghostwriter, you know what I mean? Because you're not writing your own stuff, you can actually go back to the notes that you took from the classified information. Now you still have the classified information as well, because that's what you wrote your notes from, right? But also other conversations, apparently, other conversations, other documents that you wrote down, you took notes on, which is like a big development, because let's face it, I've been out for what, 30 years now. So, back in the day, that gets you a tour in Leavenworth, no problem. But apparently now it's okay to do that. That is not a problem. And they said, doesn't matter you did it by mistake, doesn't matter if you didn't know, doesn't matter if you didn't mean it, all that stuff. Forget about it. All right. This is what they tell you with regard to classified information. But apparently now it does matter. But of course, if you're the president, see, then it's not a problem, because a president, even if they think, that's unclassified, because all classification power, the whole thing is based, the whole system of classification, the legal basis for classification, is based on what the president, as commander in chief, thinks is or should be classified. You see? So if you're like a senator or a vice president, well, you have no authority to classify or declassify anything. So if you get caught, holy cow, now you're in trouble. But if you're the president, then it's okay, because you could just say, you could wave your hands over the stuff and say magically, ooh, I hereby declassify you. And then it's declassified, So that's what they tell you, back in the day. But apparently, see, this is why it's so interesting, right? Because we're learning new things, and learning new things is great. And I love to learn new things. And so what I'm learning now is that if you're like a senator, apparently, and you're running for president, then that's as good as being president. And so they'll say, even when they get you dead to rights, I mean, like totally dead to rights, and they have you dead to rights, and they write up a report to say, we got you dead to rights, but you didn't really mean it. You didn't mean it. It's okay. Sure, no problem. Okay, Senator running for president, that's fine. Oh, and by the way, if you actually become president, right? Let's say you actually become president, and then it turns out that as a senator, you stole classified information, right? Because you're not supposed to have it as a senator. And then as vice president, you did the same thing. And then on purpose, you used this information. You did it on purpose. You knew it was classified. Hey, whatever, because it's marked. It got red around the corner. It says top secret on it. Who cares? No problem. You can actually turn that over to your ghostwriter. The person who's writing your book for you. Not that you would ever write a book, but you might talk to somebody who would write a book for you, and then you'd say that was really your book. That's what people do a lot, apparently. And so then that would be a-okay. So that's what I found out this week. Oh, and by the way, not only is it okay, well, because they found that he did it on purpose. You see, like there was the senator, that was running for. I know it's ancient history. Who really cares? But there was this ancient, a long time ago, like 8 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was, 7 years ago. There was a senator who was running for president, and it was really okay because she didn't mean it. She did not mean it. So, no problem, no problem, no harm, no foul. Well, yeah, there was all kinds of harm, including people spying on getting all our secrets and stuff. But that's okay because you didn't mean it. All right, well, that's what we found out before. Well, now we've got one apparently where while the guy was a senator and then as another officer, as a vice president, apparently, it's still okay. It's still okay, even though you did mean it. You did mean it because you might you might go to trial. If you went to trial, right, and you had a jury, which juries don't decide a lot of these things, but sometimes they do. And you had a jury, and you could say, you could lie, you could perjure yourself and lie, because we found that you did it. We believe that you did it on purpose, but you could lie and say, I didn't really mean it. And because the jury might believe your lie in defense, then there's no point in prosecuting you. Oh, what world would that happen? Well, apparently the United States of America. Oh, and by the way, um, well, there's another development. I mean, this is such a fascinating area. You know what I mean? Because you think, oh, I understand what the law is. This is what they tell every recruit. If you get top secret information and you leave it on the change machine at the snack bar, you're in big trouble. If you even find it on the snack machine they were going to be pissed at you. But that guy was pissed at me when I was turning it in. I even asked for a receipt. I was like, well, sir, should I get a receipt for this? I was like, get the hell out of here. I did not think that was funny. Anyway, I didn't mean it funny. What I knew about handling classified information was you don't want to, right? You absolutely, that stuff is like total poison. Stay away from it if you possibly can. But unless, of course, you're running for president. And then it's fine, and you're a senator and secretary of state, and then it's fine. It's really no problem.